The Gales fire was part of the Middle Fork complex, which started on July 29, 2021. It was located 30 miles east of Eugene, Oregon. At 1100, a contract Type 2IA crew arrived on a slopover in Division Bravo. The 50-acre slopover crossed the 1912 road and compromised a good option to check the fire. The terrain was steep and footing was poor below the 1912 road. On scene were the division and division trainee, the crew, a paramedic, and a local faller and falling module. A second-hand crew arrived around 1430. At 1500, the top two-thirds of an old-growth tree snapped off and fell into the gully where the crew was working. The crew boss immediately called for a head count. The crew members had been spaced out digging line in the drainage when the tree came down above them. The count came back at 19. Fermencio Ruiz Carapia, known affectionately by the crew as Tata, had been struck by the tree and dragged down the steep slope. He had been building handline in the middle of the crew. The Division Bravo trainee, the paramedic, and other nearby resources reached the scene within minutes. Moving crew to a safe location. 19 of 20 crew members accounted for. 1 crew member unaccounted for. Red patient is not with us anymore. Red is now black. The tree that came down was a live dug fir. It was estimated to be about 200 feet tall and 4 to 5 feet in diameter. There was no report of fire damage to the tree, and although many snags in the area had been flagged by the overhead, fallers, and crew, this green tree had not been considered a hazard. The tree had come down the slope a long way, dragging slash and hot materials with it. A bucket ship was requested to keep the fire in check. The paramedic on scene had made his way in carefully to evaluate the patient and extrication. The giant logs were laid on top of one another in the steep terrain, making the scene unstable. He recommended fallers and technical rescue equipment. All personnel were pulled back until the county sheriff arrived. All available medical personnel in the south divisions of the fire were requested to Division Bravo. Operations on the southern divisions were shut down as additional overhead arrived to assist. One hand crew moved down to the closed 650 road to begin clearing a path towards the bottom of the drainage. The county search and rescue team and the fire's rapid access team started in from the bottom. 8 paramedics and EMTs, along with a sheriff's deputy and a line safety officer, hiked in from the 1912 road. Once the accident scene investigation was complete, personnel worked to move Fermencio onto a hand stretcher and carefully packaged him for transport down the steep terrain. Over the communication channels, he was respectfully being referred to as Firefighter 1. They navigated the stretcher a quarter of a mile across the slope and down to the 650 road. They met the search and rescue and rapid access team on the 650 road at about 2000, just as it was beginning to get dark. They transferred Firefighter 1 onto a dedicated platform on the UTV. As we drove down the cleared 650 road, all the firefighters stepped to the side and gave their honors. The sheriff escorted the UTV down to the 19 road, where it was loaded into an enclosed trailer for transport down to the Middle Fork Ranger Station. The state fire marshal had been notified of the fatality and began setting up an escort for Firefighter 1 from the Middle Fork Ranger Station. As the convoy came down the hill in the dark, they saw an honor flag with the lights shining on it. The crew was there waiting for them. Firefighter 1's crew members carried him across the pavement, paid their last respects, and transferred the litter to the coroner's vehicle. Ten vehicles proceeded from the Middle Fork Guard Station to Sacred Heart Hospital in Springfield, Oregon. Along the way, they passed local fire departments respectfully parked at the road junctions. At the hospital, they were met by a fleet of first responder vehicles and personnel from every nearby jurisdiction lining the area. The Oregon Fire Service Honor Group provided a uniformed honor guard for Firefighter 1 at the hospital and had set up a 2-hour rotating honor watch at the morgue so he was never left alone. From Monday night through Thursday, volunteers stood constant watch. The honor guard volunteers, structure firefighters before their 48-hour shifts, local law enforcement, and wildland firefighters. The family requested the honor guard procession home to Medford, Oregon on Thursday. The family came up to Springfield to be part of the procession. Amanda Schmidt, state commander of the Oregon Fire Service Honor Group, said, "We thought we would have a decent procession, but then it became a massive, beautiful thing." The Type 2IA crew made a request that they would like to be available for assignments, but also be able to return to Medford to honor Firmencio Ruiz Carapia on September 9th. The crew was assigned to a fire in the Mount Hood National Forest for 11 days. A member of the FLA team was assigned as a crew liaison to provide continued support for the crew and assist with Spanish language translation.